He qualified down in P10 next to him. Apiwat's teammate for Yamaha Techni Racing, McKinley Carl Paz. And outside of him, replacement rider in Yamaha Racing Indonesia for Andy Fadley, Ray Matsuoka.
We've got a wild card in Shinya Mikami from Tiara Promote Racing, local racer, and Sha Juntong from Victor Racing Team, who are enjoying his performances. We're enjoying him getting more and more competitive as the season goes by. Sha Juntong, he's picked up a 18 points so far, best position at 9th in Buriram Race 2, and a 10th last time out in July.
Yep, improving, working at it. We've admired his work ethic all the way through, and we've seen it. You know, he's taken maybe 6 seconds off his initial lap time since he arrived here yesterday.
1:57.4, so he's 4 seconds off the pace as they go under the bridge. You saw on that wide shot there the oval. That is the reason why this is called the Motegi Twin Ring. It used to be an oval circuit. It still exists, but it's not used for racing anymore.
And here's a fun fact, Des. This is Azroy's first pole position start since 2019.
Remarkable. For such a good racer, that is quite remarkable.
It is.
It shows how competitive this category has been in 250s and 600s as he's ridden. Well, let's see if he can carry on the great form that he started. You really felt for him in Buriram, but he came good. Was unlucky that the rain came, or that we were stopped from racing in the light rain in Zhuhai.
Yeah, been good to see him continue his run of form, but he's put himself on pole. And this is going to be a really competitive race, and there's a real chance of seeing a wild card on the podium. And his name is Kengo Nagao.
Yes. Philippines supporters will be also looking for McKinley Carl Paz to improve on his form. He's picked up 32 points. He's got a podium, McKinley Carl Paz, a P3 in Buriram. He's got a P7 and a P9 in his other races. So McKinley Carl Paz again stepping up. Remember him as an underbone champion. Stepping up into the 600s. It is physically very, very demanding. Having spent some time on the World Championships, McKinley Carl Paz will be learning race on race on race. And he'll be starting from P11 at the moment, which will frustrate him a bit.
Yep, he was did a bit of off-roading during qualifying, which didn't help his grid position. And going back to his teammate Apiwat, to see Apiwat not on the front row does show you that the bike is a little bit out of sorts.
We are on board for the man in P6, Kiatisak. So that should give us some lovely shots. Race number 5 of the season. We are underway. A wheelie to start for Azroy Hakim, but he's a little bit slow off the line, and Kendo Nakao has got the lead. And for Team Kenken, that is a terrific start as we look back in the middle of the pack. Team Kenken and Nagao have got away from Azroy.
Yep, as we were saying, that's a surprisingly rare pole position for Azroy, and he didn't make the most of it with that wheelie off the line, but he has recovered to put himself in second. And I think coming through there, I think that was Adananta pushing his way through into, no, I beg your pardon, it's Veda Egap pushing his way through into third place. He's got Helmi Asman behind him.
Yeah, back number 54, very aggressive there, and as you mentioned, he's just learning about 600 cc's and how physical you need to be. Well, that was him showing that he's learned quite a little bit, I think, in the so far 4 races this season, 3 races. Right then, Nagao under pressure. Takes that line beautifully, but going around the outside as the drone has a little look. Nagao nice and tight to the curb. He's got the racing. Then Nagao under pressure. Takes that line beautifully, but going around the outside as the drone has a little look. Nagao nice and tight to the curb. He's got the racing line. And Azroy Hakim is all over him. Kengo Nagao is holding on to this lead.
Yeah, Azroy looks really determined. I don't think if there's anything he can do to stop Kengo from winning, he's going to do it. I think, you know, there's a little bit of resentment about how much attention Kengo Nagao has gotten since we've been here.
Apiwat Wontanong got himself up into P3 there ahead of Veda. But it is Nagao as they come down the hill for the very first time. how you control, how late you leave your braking, how brave are you going into that corner? Well, there's the answer. Certainly from Veda. Well, he has shown that he is very, very brave today. A couple of big moves up at the front. Bike 50, Kengo Nakao for Team Ken leads the way. The man in yellow leads the way from the Idemitsu Bunchu Honda. Lap 1 of 12 is complete.
He was a little bit untidy through that last section there, Kengo. But Azroy hasn't capitalised on it.
1.2 seconds between 1 and 6. Adelantra Putra and Reza Danica Arons, they've been left just a little bit. McKinley Carl Paz has been left as well. Kengo setting a torrid pace.
And Apiwat up into third.
Championship leader Apiwat Wongtananon. And hasn't looked as comfortable here as he has in other races. His worst finish this season was a P2 in Zhuhai.
Helmy pushing hard there. Almost locking up under braking. Doesn't want these front three to get away. A little bit of a threat of that happening. And Kengo Nagao's trying to get away as well. So it just depends whether what the two riders behind him at the moment can do about it. They need to work together, not slow each other down.
It looks like they're slowing each other down because those two are absolutely racing. Or Apiwat is trying to get onto the back of Azroy Hakim, and Azroy, I think, is more concerned about what's going on behind him than what's going on in front of him, because he's under intense pressure as they come up the hill for the second time. Azroy, good drive out, gets a little bit of a leeway. Now they come down over the crest, and Apiwat has a look on the inside. Brakes relatively early. You don't want to get that wrong. If you leave the braking too late, you can overrun that, and you can see 2 or 3 places disappear.
Yeah, we just look at those lines being taken by Kengo through that final section. Really aggressive, really smooth, taking a wide line, sweeping back in, and here they come across the line. And it doesn't look like much of a speed differential between the Honda of Azroy and the Yamaha of Apiwat.
Kengo Nakao was 4/10 quicker than Azroy Hakim Anwar on that last lap, and he's increased his lead to 8/10 and pulling away. Maybe this is why everybody gave him the attention. Maybe this is why he was looking so confident, or sounding so confident on the grid earlier on.
Yeah, to be fair, we gave him a bit of attention here in the commentary box, which he richly earned, in my opinion. And he's made a really great start to this race, as has Apiwat, it has to be said. After Apiwat, there is Helmy Asman. He'll be wanting to improve and catch up on that lead group.
Helmy's done exactly that. He's within 6/10 of Apiwat and Azroy Hakim, and Katisak is being able to pull his way. But while those two are battling, Adelantra Putra's got closer as well. Veda Ega has dropped off a little bit after a couple of very, very brave moves early on. But there's genuine racing going on here, and it's great to watch. But all it does is helps Kengo Nagao, because all Kengo has to worry about is keeping his line right. He has the racing line. He doesn't have to worry about anything behind him, and he is increasing his lead.
Yeah, looking at the riders in second, third and fourth at the moment, I detect a little bit of respect emerging between the three of them, the two Malaysians and the Thai.
Apiwat goes through into P2. That time, coming over the crest of the hill. Just think Azroy Hakim had a little loss of concentration there, and Apiwat took advantage. And he was pressing, to be fair. Apiwat, he might not have had his setup right for qualification or for practice, but he's got it looks like he's got it a little bit better today, and he is in P2 now. But the differential between Nagao and Apiwat is 1.3 seconds. Again, Kengo Nagao has added 4/10 of a second to his lead.
What will happen now? Will Apiwat become involved with Azroy trying to snatch back that P2, or will he find some clear air and get after Kengo?
Looks like the latter. Looks like he's taken 5 or 6 bike lengths away. He's chasing the championship leader, chasing the wildcard man. The two Idemitsu Bunchu Hondas are there, and 21 comes in as well. Adelantra Putra goes on the inside of Helmy Asman. Adelantra second in the championship standings. Not really spoken about Adelanta. 4th fastest in qualification. He's just coming good, and it's a long enough race to actually make up a little bit of ground on the leaders.
Yeah, he's showing his quality this year, and he has been quick and keeping in every practice session among the leaders, looking comfortable on that 600, and looks like he's enjoying it. Let's see, there is daylight, as you said, Des. Quite a few bike lengths there between Apiwat. So now what we want to watch is the gap between Kengo and Apiwat,
which was 1.35 seconds. Find out the end of this lap. It does look visually as though it's being closed down. Behind them, a little battle going on between Azroy and Helmi, who's gotten ahead of Adelanta once again. Katisak is still in P6. Miguel, though, looks very good, but to be fair, Apiwat Wangtananon looks like he's got the bit between his teeth. Right, they come over the start-finish line. Be 8 laps to go. Miguel has the lead, but the lead has been cut by 3/10.
Yeah, that's good work from Apiwat. Took him a while to get past. Azroy, because I think he knew he could do something about this lead. He's found some pace since qualifying and free practice. And we know what a hard racer he is, Apiwat.
Mau transfer bisnis nggak usah bingung. Transfer falas pakai Livin, uang yang diterima utuh.
Thank you. The amount of money in accordance with what we agreed.
Utuh. Pakai terus transfer falas di Livin by Mandiri ya. Cepat.
Gone back from starting P1 from the grid, currently down to P4, and Helmi in P5.
Azroy's lap time was a 1:54.4. That was relatively slow, 6/10 down on Adelanta Putra. Helmi a 1:54.3, so the Inimitsu Bunchu Hondas are lapping a little bit slower. Whether it's the setup or the bikes, which won't be identical, but they won't be too far off each other. But look at this, Apiwat is definitely, categorically closing in on the race leader. And to be fair, Azroy hasn't let Adelanta Putra get away from him.
Yeah, he set the fastest lap in his pursuit of Kengo.
Apiwat.
Yeah.
There is Apiwat on the Yamaha. Kengo, well, if he thought he was going to race away from Apiwat Wangtananon, he's got another thing coming. Remember, Kengo is a wild card, so Apiwat, he holds on to P2, won't lose any ground in the championship standings.
Well, that was a nice smooth line through that final section from Apiwat. Not quite close enough to get a draft, but he's going to make his presence felt now. Put Kengo Nagao or Ken Racing under a lot of pressure.
And you can see it's down to 3/10 the difference, and they are 2 seconds clear of Adelanta Putra, who himself is 3/10 clear of Azroy Hakim, who himself is a second and a half clear of Helmi Azman.
That was the last race, Des, with Kiandra.
It was indeed. He was so far ahead. Good battle now. The wild card for Team Ken.
Yeah, Apiwat looks in control of this battle. He's got plenty of time.
They go under the bridge, up the hill, out into the countryside, which is rather splendid if you've got time to enjoy it. But these two focusing only on the next corner, only on the line.
And the line is so crucial here. You have to get each one right, the way the corners run together. Get one wrong, that's going to mess up your lap time. And no mistakes from Apiwat, and no mistakes from the rider in front of him. But he's having to ride defensively now.
Indeed, whereas he had quite a healthy lead of 1.3 seconds earlier on. As you can see, it's very, very much under the cosh now as they come down the hill. Apiwat Wangtananon on the Yamaha. Or Yamaha Techni Racing Asia. Isn't making a move yet. I think he's quite happy just to sit on the shoulder for a little while.
Yeah, experienced racer. In fact, they both are. They're both late 20s. Pretty much at the peak of their careers and capabilities. Gap's about the same.
Yeah, still 3/10. 2.5 tenths 1:54.2s. So they're a second down on the fastest lap, which suggests they're just settling in to, let's see what happens where we are with 2.5 or 3 laps to go. Then we'll really race. In the meantime, they're still holding the advantage of 2.5 seconds now. Not holding, increasing the advantage.
Oh, and down there, and big cloud of dust. That's one of the Thai Hondas. It's Tanat.
Who was running in 7th place, Tanat. But that's a deep lot of gravel to get out, and his race is over.
Back at the front, the pit crew will be preparing the board to say Apiwat +0.
He's posted the fastest lap, Apiwat. 1:53.4. Nagao still holding on, not looking particularly stressed. But then again, I don't think Apiwat's really pushing him at the moment. Behind them, Adanantraputra is just pulling just a little bit away ahead of Azroy Hakim Anwar and Helmi Azman. And the Idemitsu Bunchu Hondas, not underpowered, but maybe the setup not quite right. Must be a really difficult circuit to set things up for, because it flows, and then you've got the long straight, you've got this very difficult end where this sharp right-hander at the bottom of the hill makes life very tough.
We've got 2 really good races here at the front. Let's look at the lines here. Apiwat tighter through that section, the first part of that section. And let's see as they nail it out of the turn. I think Kengo got out a bit faster than Apiwat that time.
5 laps to go. Still 3/10 between Kengo and Apiwat. Oh! Mistake. He's gone wide, Kengo. A mistake from him there. And Apiwat Wongtananon takes full advantage.
That was good pressure from the Thai rider. He kept it there, and each of the previous 2 laps, going into turn 1, he showed Kengo his front wheel. The pressure worked, he made a mistake. Here we go. Got his braking wrong, but I do put that down to pressure from Apiwat. Now let's see what Apiwat can do with the pace that he's shown so far to put himself in that position, starting from 5th on the grid.
Oh, and he's immediately put a little bit of distance between him and Kengo. I did get the feeling that Apiwat Wongtananon was just sitting on there, waiting for his opportunity. The opportunity came probably earlier than he expected.
Yeah, well, he's a graduate of the VR46 Valentino Rossi school, and this is a very Valentino Rossi thing to do, just put the guy ahead of you under pressure through the race. We saw him do that in the early 2010s, and Apiwat employing that tactic to great effect.
To be fair, Kengo hasn't lost complete touch, but there are 7 or 8 bike lengths between the 2 there as they come down the crest of the hill. Behind them, Adanantraputra for Astra Honda Racing is still holding on to P3. Splendid isolation of him ahead of Azroy and Helmi Azman and Kyatisuk and Reza Danica. As they go into the tunnel, that's a little bit closer.
Yeah, Kengo fancies it. He's right from yesterday. We've been watching him come through that final section really quickly. Apiwat recovered well, to be fair.
Controlling yourself coming down that hill, getting the turn right, getting the braking right. That's probably the most difficult part on this circuit. As they come through, 4 laps to go, so still plenty of time. It is a little bit of a procession behind them. Adanantra, Azroy, Helmi Azman, Kyatisuk, Reza Danica, Veda Agar after a bright start.
And look at that.
Well, was that an Apiwat mistake?
Well, we're going to see a replay of that, I would guess.
Now, pressure from Apiwat forced the mistake from Kengo earlier on.
A little bit of tit for tat, perhaps. Here we go. Apiwat, yeah, he runs wide.
They seem such routine corners as well. You know it's coming at the end of those straights. Yet now we've seen a mistake from both these experienced racers.
Yeah, it just shows you how hard they're having to ride.
And again, the hairpin from Kengo. He's now under pressure from Apiwat. Well, that's a bonus for Kengo. think he will have feared once he made the mistake that Apiwat might get away from him completely, but the Yamaha didn't do so.
It's a bonus for the race in terms of the spectacle. This is a really good battle for P1 between the two Yamahas at a Honda circuit.
In P5, this is Helmi being able to put pressure on Azroy Hakim. Helmi has got the better position in the championship standings here, but Azroy Hakim is the man in form. Adananta Putra, second in the overall championship standings with 2 podiums and a P3, but no wins so far this season. Adananta is looking good for potentially another podium here. The championship leader, Apiwat Wangtananon, in the blue of the Yamaha Techni Racing Team Asia. P2 at the moment, but having made a mistake. What are we, 3 laps to go, 2 3/4 laps to go.
So Apiwat has been faster through this section than Kengo, but I think Kengo seems to be just raising his game slightly. Let's see.
Both have made mistakes on hairpins. No mistakes this time. Kengo accelerates up the hill. The start of the incline. It's not a hill exactly. It is an incline, but it's so easy to get this wrong.
Yeah, difference in gradient here is 30 meters, which is a significant amount.
It's gradually done. Kengo still holds on. Apiwat got the fastest lap time, 1:53.4. So he has got the pace behind them. Adananta not being able to make any real indent. It's down to 1.7 seconds, the gap between 2 and 3. 1.2 between 3 and 4. Another 0.5 between 4 and 5.
Apiwat's going to have a go here. Kengo's so good through this section.
You want to try to be close enough to get a drag on the home straight. Oh, these bikes are a little bit too powerful. Is the straight not quite long enough?
Well, let's have a look this time around.
It's not quite close enough to get the drag,
No,
is it?
he's not. About 8 bike lengths between them now.
If he is trailing, behind them you can see Azroy Hakim under pressure from his countryman and teammate Mohamed Helmi Azman for P4. This one is going right the way down to the wire. Apiwat has been chasing for the majority of this race. He got himself in the lead, then made a mistake. You can see Helmi, bike number 32, putting pressure on the man who was on pole, Azroy Hakim Anwar.
And yes, the question is whether the Bunsu Honda riders can get close enough with time running out to Adananta Putra. I think Adananta is in control of this battle for the final step of the podium.
Maybe the Idemitsu Bunsu Honda riders can work together, push each other. They might be able to get a little bit closer, but the peloton, the drag with 2 racers, isn't as effective unless there's 4 or 5 there. But still, Kengo Nagao negotiates his way up the hill.
Yeah, this is a convincing ride from Kengo Nagao.
Apiwat's holding something back, isn't he? I'm convinced he is.
Well, he's a championship leader, so that could be on his mind a little bit, but we know what an aggressive racer he is. So this is the rehearsal, and it's not really a rehearsal. Apiwat coming down nice and steadily behind Kengo, letting him get a little bit further away perhaps.
He really wants to be closer. Apiwat Wangtananon in the blue. Not close enough. We'll be going into the final lap with a convincing lead for Kengo Nagao. Maybe all the hype was worth it for Kengo. He leads. The lead is nearly half a second. Behind them, Adananta Putra. His lead has been cut to half a second for the 2 Idemitsu Bunsu Hondas. They'll have hopes of at least one of them getting onto a podium.
I think that last lap, that penultimate lap, was a significant one for Kengo Nagao. I don't think Apiwat is able to get close enough to him because he was faster in this section earlier in the race.
half-second lead looks like it's being maintained. Kengo this time doesn't make a mistake, although he does go a little bit wider than he would have hoped. They go out into the countryside. This is the final half lap of the race. It's race number 5 of the season. Kengo Nagao, a wild card, leads the championship leader, Apiwat Wongtanan, Supersport 600. He leads going up the hill. Apiwat trying to get close enough as they come down the hill to maybe just have one little pop, and he is closer now.
Yeah, this is it. We know what a strong racer he is. We know that he's mature enough to think about the championship. But here he goes. Can he hold it? He can't. So now they're nothing between them really as they're going down the hill now.
Right over the crest of the hill, Apiwat has shown that he wants this. He's in the lead once again. How late can he leave his braking? Yes, he's done it absolutely perfectly. Kengo tries to get a strong drive out. Kengo's got the better drive out as they come into the final couple of corners. The big left from Apiwat Wongtanan, then on to the right. Then what kind of a lead does he have over Kengo Nagao? He's got the lead. Apiwat Wongtanan has left it to the final lap, and Apiwat takes the victory in thrilling style from Kengo. Adananja Putra just holds on to P3. Heldi Asman ahead of Azroy Hakim for 4 and 5, but brilliant from Apiwat on the Yamaha.
Absolutely brilliantly judged win from the Thai championship leader, and that will have done his championship lead even more good. It was already strong coming into this. Kengo Nagao did everything, but in the end Apiwat had the plan, he executed it, and that is brilliant. He came through having had a pretty unhappy free practice sessions and qualifying by his standards. Started from 5th on the grid and made his way through. Absolutely brilliant performance. We just saw some of the best we can see from Apiwat Wongtanan. He just passes his countryman there, Kiatisak. Kiatisak came through in 6th, almost 12 points drift of Apiwat. But in the end, that was a margin of victory of 0.0219 for Apiwat for Yamaha Technique Racing Team Asia.
Yep, the victory for Apiwat, his 3rd win in 4 completed races this season. Adananja Putra in P3, Kengo Nagao 2/10 down, but 4.4 seconds clear of Adananja. He was 4/10 clear of Helmi, who got the better of his teammate